Well, the wipe is upon us, and with it comes the return of some of our favorite things. For one, audio is broken again in a unique way, again. Sometimes you walk through a bush and you hear nothing, and then other times you walk through a bush and your ears are perforated by the sound of thousands of branches being slammed into your ears. Servers are on fire again. Pretty par for the course at this point. Oh, and we all get to do these again. Quests can go one of two ways. They're either really easy and you get it done almost instantly, or they're an absolute slog and it is the definition of misery trying to complete them. I tried to do checking several times. I got the damn pocket watch 6 times, and every single time I grabbed it, I either got offed by some random ass scab that had flechette in its shotgun for some reason, or there was a player there that was just better than me and I got completely dumpstered on. Now I can respect getting dumpstered on by someone who is better than me, but by the 5th time you've been head-eyed on the very first bullet they fire, you start to lose your sanity a little bit. So I stopped trying to do it during the daytime, ran it at night, and got it done in one raid. Seriously, I know it is probably tiring to hear everybody say, if you want a quest, do it at night, but questing at night is one of the best ways to do it. My favorite pro about questing at night is the scabs are not utterly ridiculous. The Terminator scabs of the daytime that will one-tap you from 200 meters out using 20 gauge buckshot do not exist. At nighttime, they are pretty dumb. The detection range is tiny. You can pretty much walk up right behind them and start breathing on their neck before they realize you're there. This makes it very, very easy to either avoid or kill them, and it is one of my favorite parts about nighttime. Another beautiful thing is that the PvP gods and the Mega Sweats don't like to run at nighttime. It is very, very hard for them to W key and absolutely murder you if they don't know where you are. As a result, they tend to avoid it. Even when night vision becomes very readily available, they tend to just stick to daytime, which I am perfectly okay with. Another beautiful thing is that the days of thermals being literally everywhere are gone. It is now very difficult for the average person to either acquire, or it's simply outside of their price range to use thermals on a consistent basis. So it's not very common that you are going to run into a Mega Sweat at night, unless it's either very late in the wipe or during the time period where they're trying to do test drive. The main point is most of the time you're not gonna have to worry about the people who are really freaking good at PvP at nighttime, and that is awesome. Most of the people at nighttime are just like you. They're either trying to quest or they're trying to rat. Here's a perfect example of the people you encounter at nighttime. This guy scared me. And considering that I haven't played the game in a month and a half to 2 months, I whiff every single bullet on this completely unarmored opponent. Does he turn around and take advantage of the situation? Nah. Bro kept running. He did not want any of that. And honestly, I kind of respect it. Just the unfazed determination in sprinting by as he's getting shot at is something to admire. But ultimately, that is what you are going to encounter most of the time. People at night do not want to fight. And that's another big thing about night, is the darkness makes it very, very hard to see. While this sounds like a negative, if all you're trying to do is run through the map and get something or kill a couple of scabs, you don't really need to see all that well. The darkness is your best friend because it makes it borderline impossible to see you. Seriously, you can pretty much sprint across an open field if you want to. So long as there is nothing to silhouette you, you're gonna be completely fine. As a result of this, it is pretty important that you make it impossible to see your silhouette. So avoid high ground because you can be very easily silhouetted against the sky, and obviously avoid well-lit areas and avoid having well-lit areas near you. Pretty much just find a wall or something you can stick to that is completely dark and just use that to move along, and you will basically be invisible. Even if you are spotted, the ground itself is darker than the void that all of our collective sanities go to when we start playing this game, so you can pretty much just lie down and no one is going to spot you. Sprint a couple of feet and lie down. Hell, if you hear somebody's footsteps or maybe there's a group you hear, literally just crouch And if they heard your footsteps, but they're not gonna hear anything else, they're not gonna see anything else, they're probably just gonna think they're schizophrenic and move on. It is so easy to avoid conflict, and as someone who's just trying to quest, that is very much what you want. Obviously, barring the ones where you have to kill other PMCs, you can pretty much complete every single quest in the game this way. Fetch quests, plain and easy. You go to where you need to go, you grab whatever you need to grab, and you get the hell out of there. Killing scabs, super easy, because scabs move in very predictable patterns. So if you know you're roughly in a scab area, you can pretty much just move slow, listen, start to look for them. Once you get close enough to them, you'll be able to see them anyways. Or if you really want to, you could get that terrible night vision scope that fits on a dovetail and use that to scan the areas where you know scabs are most likely going to be. Seriously, I completed Shootout Picnic this way, and it was super easy. I might even say it was a picnic. The only quest that being at night doesn't really help on is the one where you have to collect a certain type of item, because while you can sprint to areas that are going to have that loot, odds are other players are going to be doing that as well, so avoiding conflict becomes a lot harder. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it kind of defeats the purpose. I should also mention that you're just gonna have to kind of learn which areas are going to remain utter crap fests. For instance, the reserve bunker is just gonna be an utter crap fest no matter what time of day you run it. Seriously, it doesn't matter if you run it at day, it doesn't matter if you run it at night, there's always gonna be at least 4 PMCs, 6 scavs, and 2 raiders in there, all focused on murdering you. So yeah, that's still gonna be terrible, but most other locations are going to be far more chill. All right, time to go over the cons, because of course nothing is perfect. I say potential because their spawn chance is incredibly low, but they are a potential downside, and that is cultists. If you're afraid of running into cultists, just avoid these areas on, I believe they're on Woods, Customs, and Shoreline. I think those are the only places they can be. Cultists are freaking scary. You are not going to be able to fight back against them, because all you are going to know is you're going to see a hooded figure run at you with a knife, and let's say you panic, you shoot him. If he dies, you're screwed, because that means a bunch of other hobgoblins are going to come out of the ground and just light you up with some of the best ammo in the game, and there's nothing you can do because it is suppressed, they are camouflaged, and you are in for a very bad time. You will die, and it will be funny to everyone that isn't you. Seriously, do not try to fight cultists. If you have a valuable quest item or something you really have worked hard for, just avoid these areas. I don't think this is the ideal way to play Escape from Tarkov. I know everyone has their disagreements over the Chad versus the Rat or whatever, but if you really want those heart-stopping moments of adrenaline that Escape from Tarkov is famous for, doing night raids is not going to offer it to you nearly as often as if you go during the day, where you will find that intense PvP and those incredible escapes. So yeah, if you want that kick of adrenaline and that huge dopamine rush, night raids aren't really going to be for you. They're more chill, and they are far more just let's get what we came for and let's go. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, especially all the way to the end of the video. I should be back to uploading on a weekly basis, hopefully, and I have a lot of ideas for new videos. I'm looking forward to this wipe, and I'm looking forward to seeing what's happening, so I think it's gonna be a good little time. I keep looking back here. I don't know why this is the end period where it's just the blue screen of me talking to you. But yeah, once again, thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna start to do the weapon stereotype series that's heavily basically a copy of Soundsmith's TF2 weapon stereotypes, so be on the lookout for that. But yeah, with all that out of the way, once again, thank you so much for watching, and yeah. Here's a treat for all the people who stuck around. Back of neck reveal. Yeah, how's that? Not doing the face yet.